This is the Adoption is Love podcast. Real people sharing real adoption stories and the real power of choosing love.
She will always be loved no matter what choice she makes, but that she definitely made the right decision. I want her to know that.
In today's episode, 13-year-old adoptee Rocco shares how his birth mom's courageous choice led him to the life he has today. It's real, hopeful, and full of heart. Catherine Cheek from Deaconess Pregnancy and Adoption joins the conversation.
So, Rocco, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your adoption story?
I'm 13 years old, and I was adopted at birth. I was born at Vanderbilt Hospital in Nashville, Tennessee.
Do you remember when you first learned or started noticing that you were adopted?
I think my parents always, since I was very little, told me that I was adopted. But I think in the last couple of years, I've started to see that it's a part of, who I am now. Instead of just saying, oh, I'm adopted, now it's just becoming one of the main parts about me now.
So your parents, did they sit down and just have one conversation with you, or did they have a whole bunch of little conversations as you grew?
Yeah, I think we've had a couple of conversations, especially the last couple of years, but I think they've told me more as I've gotten older about my story.
What has it been like growing up to this point, being adopted?
Yeah, I feel a lot of people might not think I'm adopted because I'm white and my dad's white, my mom's Hispanic, and you can look white if your mom's Hispanic and your dad's white, but I've just felt fine about it.
Have you ever felt different than your peers?
Yeah, I feel maybe just knowing that I didn't come from my mother that I see every day's womb. And I don't remember this, but my mom tells me that when I was about 2 years old, one of our friends was pregnant and my mom was like, well, there's a baby inside her belly. And I think she said that I asked, did I come from your belly? And she was like, no, remember you came from my birth mother's belly. And I think that was probably the moment that I first realized that I was adopted, but I've felt just a little different, maybe.
How did that conversation make you feel?
It made me feel unique. I don't know about weird or anything, but I always just felt a little bit different than everyone else.
Do you know any other friends who are adopted as well?
Yeah, at my school right now, there's actually a handful of people that have been adopted, and my uncle is actually adopted from South Korea, so had friends and family that I can talk to about adoption, which makes me feel like I'm not the only one.
How have your parents talked about your birth family with you?
They've tried to share as much information as they know. And my birth father, we were in touch, but we kind of lost connection when I was about 4 or 5. So we don't have a lot of recent information about him, but we've stayed in touch with my birth mother, and we got to meet each other in I think December of 2023 in Nashville. We drove over there, just me and the agency that I was adopted from had its 40th anniversary, and we met there.
At the office?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that visit? Do you remember?
I remember walking into the room feeling nervous, but for over the 5 to 10 minutes, it started to feel a lot more comfortable. And we grabbed dinner afterwards. And that was a memorable experience for me.
That's great. What does your connection look like since then?
Sadly, she has been arrested a couple times since then, but we've stayed in touch as much as we can. And right now, she's doing a lot better.
That's great to hear. How do you feel about your birth mom's decision to place you for adoption with your parents?
I think she definitely made the right decision. I know that it was a very hard decision for her. And if she hadn't made that decision, she wanted to take care of me myself, I think I would have had a lot worse of a life than I do right now. And I've been blessed with such a great family. I think she made the right decision.
What else are you grateful for being placed with your parents?
I've just been grateful that we go to church almost every weekend that we can. I have a lot closer of a relationship with God. And we've gone on a couple of mission trips, and I actually feel called to be a missionary. I don't think any of that would have happened had I not been adopted.
We talked a little bit about adoption being unique. Why would you say that it's a special way to create a family?
If you're a child who's not adopted, it might just feel like you were born into this family and there's really not much of a choice. But if you're an adoptee, you feel like someone chose you to be in this family. And I think that makes it a lot more like of a deep relationship with your family.
If you could speak directly to your birth mom, what would you want her to know?
She will always be loved no matter what choice she makes, but that she definitely made the right decision. I want her to know that.
And what would you say to someone who's in an unplanned pregnancy who is looking at the option of adoption?
I would say just pray and trust God and know that they will be loved no matter what choice they make.
So, in talking about your family, what are some ways that your parents celebrated adoption with you?
So we celebrate our adoption day. Some people may call it a gotcha day. It's on July 30th. And we usually go out to dinner or something as a whole family, celebrate the day. And we usually look back at photos and videos of the day I was adopted. On my actual adoption day from July 30th, 2013, it was the most people that had showed up to that courthouse for an adoption day ever.
Really?
Yeah, that's what the judge was saying, and that there was just so much joy there. And
it is a joyful experience
Yeah.
for creation of a family, for you to have a forever family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any funny stories you would want to share about growing up in your family tied to adoption?
A lot of people say I actually look a lot like my dad sometimes. And the interesting thing is, both of my birth parents I've already surpassed in height. So it's I think I would have been very short, but my adoptive dad is 6'2", and mom is 5'9". A lot of people just think I look a lot like them.
Yeah, that's a really unique thing. Really.
Because most people don't look a lot like their adoptive families.
I really appreciate your time and just for you able to be vulnerable and share your adoption story. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
You just heard adoptee Rocco share his story. If you're curious about open adoption or want to talk to someone who gets it, head to adoptionis.love. Thanks for listening to the Adoption is Love podcast, brought to you by Deaconess Pregnancy and Adoption.